So I've got two phones sitting right here that represent honestly one of the most interesting dilemmas we have in 2026. On my left, the iPhone 15, which frankly I think is still the value king right now. And on my right, the shiny new iPhone 17. If you're sitting there with an iPhone 12, 13, or even this 15 wondering if you actually need to drop the cash on an upgrade this year, or if you should just save your money, this video is literally for you. We're going to cover everything design, that new display tech, the real world performance differences, and of course whether Apple Intelligence is actually a deal breaker or just marketing hype. It's interesting looking back at the iPhone 15, when this thing dropped, the big headline was USB-C finally, right? But looking at it now, side by side with the 17, you start to see where the cracks in the armor are. So let's just get into it. Starting off with design and display, honestly holding them in hand, they don't feel miles apart. The iPhone 15 here is in blue, which I still love by the way, and it was the first time Apple gave us that frosted color infused back glass. It's got those contoured edges, so it's not sharp like the iPhone 12 or 13 or 14 was. It's actually really comfy to hold. But then you pick up the iPhone 17, this one is in lavender and it's gorgeous. The big change here isn't really the body shape, it's still that aluminum sandwich, but the screen. The 17 bumped the size up to 6.3 inches from the old 6.1, but because the bezels are so incredibly thin now, the physical phone isn't much bigger. It just feels more immersive. But here is the real game changer, and I'm not hyperbolating here, the display. The iPhone 15 is stuck at 60 Hz, and in 2026, 60 Hz is just its old tech, guys. Like, every phone nowadays has 120 Hz. The iPhone 17 finally brought ProMotion to the base model. It ramps from 1 Hz all the way to 120 Hz. And with the new iOS 26, that new liquid glass design language that dropped a few months ago, it looks absolutely stunning on the 17. The animations, the blur effects, it's buttery smooth. When I go back to the 15, even though it's a great phone, that 60 Hz just makes the new animations feel a bit choppy, like it's not lagging, but your eyes can tell the difference immediately. Okay, let's talk performance, and I want to be super transparent with you guys about how I use these. My iPhone 15 here, it's basically my backup. I use it for testing betas, gaming, when my main phone is charging, or just as a desk companion. It's running the latest iOS 26, and honestly, it handles it like a champ. I actually ran Geekbench 6 on this iPhone 15 just this morning. I got a 2626 single core and 6538 multi-core. For a phone that's a few years old, that is solid. Day to day, apps open quick, swiping is smooth, I don't really see much lag, and it has 6 GB of RAM, which is decent. Compared to older base models like the 12 or 13 that had 4 GB, the 15 keeps apps open in the background way better. But then there's the iPhone 17. This thing is rocking the new A19 chip. And the scores are just insane. We're talking 3,573 single core and 9,143 multi-core. That is a massive jump. And for the GPU gamers, listen up, the 15 scored around 22,729, but the 17 hit 37,286. What does that mean for you? If you're just texting and using Instagram, the 15 is totally fine. But if you're playing demanding games, I've been testing some heavy titles on the 17. That A19 chip paired with the 120Hz screen, it's a console level experience. Plus the 17 has hardware accelerated ray tracing, so the lighting in games just looks ridiculous. Now, battery life. This is usually where older phones struggle, right? My iPhone 15 is a bit of a unicorn. It's at 99% battery health with 214 cycles because like I said, it's mostly a desk phone. But for most of you buying a used 15 in 2026, you're probably looking at 85% health or lower. So keep that in mind, you might need a battery swap. On the iPhone 17 with that new efficient A19 chip and the fact that the screen can drop down to 1 Hz, the battery life is stellar. Apple claims 30 hours of video playback, and in my usage as a daily driver backup, it's a solid all-day phone. I never really worry about it dying before I get home. One thing to consider though, if you grab an iPhone 15, it can last a full day. If you're just doing casual stuff, social media, work emails on Wi-Fi, it's still a reliable phone. But the 17 just gives you that extra peace of mind. Camera-wise, the iPhone 15 was the first base model to get the 48 megapixel main sensor, and honestly, the photos still look great. Clean, sharp, good shutter speed. It's a fantastic point and shoot camera. But the iPhone 17 brings some cool new toys. You've got that vertical camera layout now, which lets you shoot spatial video for Vision Pro if you're into that. The main lens is the new 48 megapixel fusion camera, but honestly, in daylight, you won't see a massive difference from the 15. Where you will see a difference is the ultra-wide. This is huge. The iPhone 17 has upgraded the ultra-wide lens to 48 megapixels. That is a massive jump from the 12 megapixels on the iPhone 15. It makes your wide landscape shots way sharper, but the real magic here is macro. Because of this new high-res sensor and autofocus, you can take incredible macro shots, super close-ups of textures or flowers, and they look crisp. It's a really versatile upgrade for creators. Also, we gotta talk about the selfie camera. The 17 has this new 18 megapixel front camera that supports center stage, and get this, you can take landscape selfies while holding the phone vertically because of the square sensor. It is super fun for group shots. Also, there's dual capture mode now where you can record front and back cameras at the same time. If you're a vlogger or you just want to capture a reaction to a concert or something, it's native now. No weird third-party apps. Okay, let's address Apple Intelligence. The iPhone 15 runs on the A16 Bionic, which unfortunately doesn't support the new native Apple Intelligence features. It is the last iPhone to miss out on that. Is that a deal breaker? Honestly, for me, no. I know Apple Intelligence is the future and all that, but right now it's still kinda in that beta feeling stage. On my 15, I just use Gemini or ChatGPT if I need AI, and they are faster and more powerful half the time anyway, so don't let the FOMO get you there. However, the iPhone 17 is future-proofed. It's got the NPU to handle all the on-device cool stuff native in iOS 26. If you want your phone to know you and handle your emails and sorting locally, the 17 is the way to go. Before we wrap up, just a few quick downsides or things you need to consider. First, the port. Both of these have USB-C, which is great for convenience. One cable for everything, but, and this is a big but, the speeds on the base iPhone 17 are still USB 2.0 speeds just like the iPhone 15. It's actually kind of wild that in 2026 we're still transferring data at 480 megabits per second on a phone that shoots 4K video. So if you transfer files via cable, it's slow on both of these. Use AirDrop. Also consider the display longevity. If you buy an iPhone 15 now, you're buying a 60Hz screen in a 120Hz world. By the time you try to sell this phone in 2028 or 2029, it's gonna be really hard to sell a 60Hz device. The 17 is much safer for resale value later. So is the upgrade worth it? If you are currently using an iPhone 15 and your battery is okay, I'd say hold on. The 15 is still the value king of 2026. It does 90% of what you need, it runs iOS 26 beautifully, and unless you need 120Hz or AI, you're good. But if you're coming from an iPhone 12, 13, or you just want that pro feeling without paying pro prices, the iPhone 17 is a dream. The 120Hz display alone changes the entire feel of the phone. It's brighter, faster, and just better. That's it for me, guys. Let me know in the comments. Are you team hold on to the 15 or team upgrade to 17? Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.